Oh, that's right. We are just two little Jedi boys looking for a lovely little Sith lady. Hello, everyone. Welcome to No Drama, Just Movies, and we are back this week to discuss an important news topic. My name is Cameron. I love Daisy Ridley, even if you don't, Kelly Smith, and I am joined here by my esteemed colleague.
I'm Phil. I am all the Jedi, Corwin.
Oh, that's right. Please give our channel a lovely little subscribe to stay tuned with the weekly reviews we do in the world of TV and movies, and also for our weekly discussions in the world of TVs and movies and related to specific topics going on. And that's why we're here today, because Deadline obviously reported breaking news that Simon Kinberg is now attached to write and produce what at least Deadline are saying from their source. They're hearing that this is going to be episode 10, 11, and 12 and a continuation of the Skywalker saga. However, they do say in this article that other insiders have disputed that claim and instead feel like it's going to be a completely new saga. But once again, it's a bit confusing at the moment if this is going to be episodes 10, 11, and 12. So I'm simply just going to ask you this. If these movies are going to be episodes 10, 11, and 12, how does that make you feel to know that they're in development?
When I saw that, I'm like, who's left from the Skywalkers? There are no Skywalkers left. So they're like, what story is there to tell? They're all dead. Unless they're doing, Rey took on the Skywalker name, I guess, but she's got her own film coming out. But
Exactly.
like, what does the Skywalker saga continuation look like? Is there like a secret baby somewhere that turns up, or like, what's the idea? Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want a continuation of the Skywalker saga. I think it's like I love the idea of trying out new things and like just exploring the wider universe.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the thing, right? Where like if I understand, Lucasfilm being very precious about the Skywalker saga and wanting to continue that. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I think that if you put it in the hands of someone quite competent, that you could probably come up with an interesting story of, maybe years, hundreds even, where we pick up from a new Skywalker in the lineage and a new time and place in the Star Wars universe. However, yeah, I just think that I can understand the fear of wanting to come away from that. And this idea that I think ever since, George Lucas started us off here, that I think there is a feeling maybe at Lucasfilm that Star Wars and the Skywalker saga are synonymous with each other. And so for them, I think I wouldn't be surprised if there is a fear to move away from that because it's like, could that be pissing off fans or could it go in a terrible direction? But I think that Lucasfilm are at a point right now where risks should be taken. Obviously, the fact that we haven't had a Star Wars movie since 2019 is actually insane. Now, don't get me wrong. Sure, you can say, yep, that's good. Take your time. There's no point. Some people are happy that that's the case because they felt like it was beaten to a pulp anyway. But in my opinion, it's time. I think it's time. And
Yeah.
I think the reason why I think this is an interesting one, because you made a good point. If this is a continuation of the Skywalker saga, well, what are we going to do? Pick up with Rey? But Rey is getting her own movie, which they literally said is going to be about her being older and training the next generation of Jedi. So you'd imagine then if this movie was to be a continuation of the Skywalker saga, it couldn't be her. It would have to be some new, as you said in your words, baby that we're not, familiar with.
Oh.
Um, so I think the question, however, that I do want to ask you
Mm.
is that, ever since the rise of Skywalker, we have had so many movies being announced in development, different directors attached, whether it be Patty Jenkins. We've had a plethora of people come on and go. And that's been a huge issue with Lucasfilm. And, a lot of criticism has been put their way because of that. Obviously, right now that we know of, we have the Ray movie
Yeah.
that's in development. We have obviously the James Mangold movie in development, which is quite exciting. At least that the idea of that sounds quite exciting. We have the Taika Waititi movie somewhere along the line. Apparently, the Patty Jenkins movie still is in development. Obviously, the one movie we do know is coming imminently is obviously going to be the Mandalorian and Grogu movie because that's the only one that seems to actually really be about to be put behind cameras. But when you hear this, like, do you think that this is gonna happen? Like, what's the likelihood you think this actually
Ooh,
happens in
okay.
comparison to all these other projects that seem to be coming and going, coming and going?
That is the question. I think if it is Skywalker saga, I think they're going to continue with it or go forward with it, whatever that looks like. But I think you were right that there is a fear of like or a familiarity, let's say, with the Skywalker name, just that family, and there is a draw to them as well, right? We want to know more about like the story there because it's been like from episode one to episode what was the last one? Nine, right?
Nine,
Um,
yeah.
we've been with the Skywalkers, right? Basically, like you said, Star Wars is synonymous with them. I think if it stays with the Skywalkers, it's going they're going to make more of an effort to continue that or to get that off the ground. If it's other stories, they might say, "Oh, we don't need that right now. Let's just tell something else. Let's stick with something." Or if they're trying to, tell a completely different story, maybe they decide that, oh, we don't really know what what story to tell, so we're gonna scrap that. But yeah, I don't know. It just depends if they're continuing with the Skywalker saga or telling three completely different films.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, if it was me, right, and I know that this is an incredibly tough decision and thing to do. If it was me, I think I'd go off what you initially said at the beginning of this video. I think that you just take the leap of faith and you start with a brand new saga.
Hmm.
I think that it is time to put the Skywalker saga to bed. We can always revisit it, like, but that will make the heart grow fonder. You know, if you did a whole new saga with new characters and new families and new this and new that, and then, 10, 20 years down the line, we then realize that the Skywalker lineage was still a thing, then that could make it fun. But I think that now is the time for Lucasfilm to go into the unknown, to take a leap and create, dare I say, actually create new. Um, I've not really been as, that much of a viewer of the most recent Star Wars shows besides The
Yeah.
Mandalorian. But one of the things, the Star Wars shows that I really appreciated was Star Wars Visions. I don't know if you watched that, but that was the
No.
animated one where it was a whole different bunch of like anime style creators who did multiple shorts. And that to me was fascinating and it was amazing because it was the first time where I felt like you really got to see how different creators could just take Star Wars and based on their own love for it and just make it into what they wanted. And it was so refreshing and so exciting to see these different anime style creations. I remember there was one where it was really anime style, if it was in black and white and it had like the lightsabers almost like katanas and but that was what was needed. And I think that's
Yeah.
what is needed now. An
Well,
opportunity to
so,
go new and create new.
so let me ask you for a change. Would you want, because it says he's only writing and producing, it doesn't say he's directing. So would you want three films all in a different style? Or all the same style, basically, just what they've been doing before?
I think a new style. Like if I'm being honest with you, right? I think a new style. And with what you just said, if I'm Kathleen Kennedy, I don't think he would sign on. I don't think he would even do it. That's just my guess. I would be calling the arse off of Denis Villeneuve right now. I would be calling
Like
his phone
crazy.
I would be calling his phone like crazy to say, you are the guy to come and do this now. Will he do it? I don't think so. But I think you need someone like him. I think you need someone with a unique flair and a unique style to just come in and just take this and prioritize a new set of characters and story. And I think the one thing they have to do this time that they made the mistake with last time is they need to allow someone to come in and create an entire story and stick to it. Because obviously the issue with the most recent trilogy is that J.J. Abrams came on for the first movie, he did his thing, left the reins to Ryan Johnson, who then did his own thing. Then you had to now retcon by letting JJ
Yeah.
come back, and it's. I think get someone and just allow them to. If Simon is going to do it, let Simon do all three and let him work closely with the director that they're going to
Mhm.
choose. But I think the thing is, even to answer the question that you said in terms of like, I think in terms of is this going to happen? I think that it is inevitable that episodes 10, 11, and 12 get released. It's inevitable. And I think that weirdly enough, if you're going to make Star Wars movies, those are kind of the ones to make because it's part of the main, I don't know what you call it. Let's just say main set of movies or I don't know, whatever, but the episodic movies, that's, I think, something that you should always come back to. It's like almost as if Marvel at this point wasn't making Avengers movies. It would kind of just feel wrong. You know what I mean? And so I think it's time. The question is, though, is that when you have all these other movies floating about that have come and gone, like at the moment, there must be at least like 8 movies talked about in development. Like, what is actually going to happen and what's going to not?
Yeah.
The James Mangold one, where he discussed about it being about one of the first Jedi to wield a lightsaber, and that it was going to be this like biblical based tale. That kind of stuff excites me, and I think that's what you need. But I just think that I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that if you're going to develop 10 episodes, 10, 11, and 12, then I think they will prioritize it. But as a result, what does that then mean for the other movies? And, once again, we kind of just feel like we're kind of just going to be back in the same kind of position.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me ask you, if they are to do episodes 10, 11, and 12, how would you prefer it? Would you prefer it if it was like a completely different style? Is
Mm.
there any kind of like anything you would be looking for? Any kind of like director or anybody you might be looking for? And what would you want?
It my first thought was to do something like what Marvel does, mainly with their shows. Well, one show is like a comedy and one is like a grittier thing. Um, so to you know try out different directors, try out different styles, get like a maybe not him, but like a David Fincher doing like a crime story set in the
Mm.
Star Wars universe.
Ooh, that sounds
Um,
good. Well, I like that. I
right?
like that a lot.
Phone. Uh, but there these like very um clear directors where oh, that's a David Fincher film, or that's a I don't know who else is around. I can't off the top of my head. But where you can see their style, right? What is Quentin Tarantino doing right now?
Yeah.
To do a Quentin Tarantino style Star Wars, which I think Japanese inspired. Like you could have fun with it and do exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, you could do some interesting stuff, I think, with it, just to revitalize the game a little bit more. Um, and yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that, I think.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, before we exit, I think what you just said there has pushed me even more to, I think, doubling down on, yeah, I think it's time to move away from the Skywalker
Hmm.
saga. Because with what you're even bringing up there, that sounds so fun and amazing to me. But to do that, I think we need to move away from the Skywalker saga
Yeah.
and also move away from bloody Tatooine. Like I've had enough of sand for once in my life.
It
Like
gets everywhere.
I mean, is there not any other planets that we haven't seen before that look different, that sound different, that a futuristic place somewhere that has, I
Mm.
don't know, like, just something I think is necessary now. So, anything else you want to add on this topic?
I think I'm good now.
Wait, well, that will do us today for our little news topic here discussing the announcement, or should I say the article, obviously published by Deadline, reporting that Simon Kinberg is to write a new set of Star Wars movies, presumably episode 10, 11, and 12. So the question is that we're going to ask you, drop down in the comment section below, let us know, do you think they should continue the Skywalker saga, or do you think it is time to call it a day? And where do you think Star Wars is as a whole, and where would you like to see them go in the future? We are No Drama, Just Movies. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you liked our video here talking about the Star Wars scenario, should we say, and obviously to stay tuned with all the reviews we do each and every week in the world of TV and movies. My name is Cameron. I love Daisy Ridley, even if you don't. Kelly Smith, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague here.
Bill, I am all the Jedi, Corwin.
Oh, that's right. We are just two little Jedi boys looking for a lovely little Sith lady. That's right. We are No Drama, Just Movies.
What?
Thank you very much for checking out our news topic discussion today, guys, and we will see you very, very soon. Take care, guys.
You will subscribe.